Jeff, it almost sounds repetitive, I suppose, but it feels good anyway. 5 in a row. How good is that?
Man, it feels so good. Hey, I want it to be. I want it to feel redundant, repetitive. Pick a word. I want it every week. Let it feel just like this, man. We can talk about the same things. People should get tired of hearing how happy we are that the Colts put another one in that win category.
Jeff, are these the games that, teams that want to play January football, they have to find a way to get a win? It wasn't pretty, 3 turnovers, a blocked punt. You hear things like that, and you think loss every time, but yet the Colts found a way to get it done.
It absolutely is, and you said it best. I mean, there are games where you're not on your game. You're not playing your best. Things just aren't clicking on all cylinders. And you got to find ways to dig down and figure out, hey, how can we get this one? And that's really what you saw. And I'll tell you, the most impressive was after the final touchdown for the Dolphins, and they go up 10, is, there was no letdown. And I think that says a lot about what Frank has done in the locker room. That guys, there's a belief that they're going to win no matter what. And so as you watch the game progress and continue to watch the fight and the desire and the tenacity of, hey, we're going to get this win, I had a ton of respect for it. Look, it's not easy, man. And when things aren't going well, it would be really easy to go, oh, it's just one of those days. But there was none of that in them, and have a lot of respect for the way they finished it out.
Andrew Luck obviously had a couple of interceptions yesterday, and I know he was going for a big play near the end of the half, and it was a great play made by the Miami secondary player to get that second interception. But again, chips are down and the game's on the line, whatever cliche you want to use. Andrew Luck was clutch, and I think we're being reminded that's just kind of who that guy is. What did you see as you watched the fourth quarter with Andrew Luck yesterday? Yeah,
you watched his accuracy, right? It's all of a sudden he became the guy who put the ball exactly where he needed to put it and gave receivers chances to make plays. Even on the big third down conversion, late in the game, I thought he did a really good job of buying time in the pocket, getting up in the pocket, but still keeping his eyes down the field and throwing it to Rodgers over on the left-hand side. I'll say this, too. Q Nelson on that play, Quentin does a fantastic job. He's got basically a 5 technique. The guy head up on the tackle, slides out to him, and just has the guy stoned. So when Andrew does step up in the pocket and move to his left, he's got him wired up. But it's those kinds of things that you're watching as a team. Is there is no back down. There isn't an excuse. Oh man, we just didn't quite get it done. He's going to find a way. He willed his way to do it. And again, is it perfect? Absolutely not. Are there things you're going to go back and want to clean up? Absolutely. Those are must-haves in the NFL. You got to be able to beat a team even when you're not on your best day, and they're showing they can get there and be competitive even when it's not their best day.
Luck was 19 of 21 in the second half, so a big bounce back after those 2 late picks to end the first half. Jeff, where are you on the Andrew Luck MVP chatter? Some people here in Indy probably have him a little bit higher than I would think most around the league, but I think he's at least starting to garner some consideration, maybe on the back end of a 5-person ballot. Where are you in that that talk?
No. I definitely think he's in the conversation. I mean, comeback player of the year for sure. You're looking at potential MVP. He'll be in the conversation. He won't win it because of the record of the team more than anything. And even if they come back and make the playoffs, I'm doubting that they would end up giving it to him. The way Breeze has played, and you're looking at Mahomes, just crazy numbers. I'll say Frank, Frank, right? He'll be in the Coach of the Year conversation, if not win it, for what he's done with this football team, and they all deserve it, man. Listen, when you win games, if you continue to win games and put yourself in playoff contention, get there. But listen, you got to do it. I mean, you can go on. We've seen it with the Panthers. You can go on a three game slide, and all this conversation will be nixed out. So as far as midseason, 3/4 of the season, I don't love all those conversations. Everybody is in the conversation when you start winning. Pro Bowl, all those kind of things. I love those conversations, but you better be winning to get in those conversations.
Jeff Saturday joining us here on the Morning After. So I'm just going to ask you a straight, neutral, easy question. What'd you think of the play where they split Andrew Luck wide to the left and threw him a pass on 4th and 1?
Oh, my word, man, my stomach turned. I was like, no, you didn't. First of all, the ball's high. I'm like, don't try to catch it. Let it go out of bounds. You know what I mean? And then he makes this athletic play where he's reaching out, and when he landed on his shoulder, I'm just telling you, fellas, I was in the war room, and I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. I mean, I could not. I didn't understand. I'm like, what are we doing right now? Even after the play they tried to throw in the end zone last week when he dives and, like, stretches out to catch it and he landed on his shoulder, I'm thinking, separated AC joint, whatever it can be. And so when it happened again, I was like, you got to be kidding me. Quarterback on quarterback crime right there. High ball outside, a guy who's not as athletic and expecting to make that kind of catch. I was nervous, but hey, look, you've seen Frey. He's gonna keep going. So we got to kind of get accustomed to it. Hopefully, Andrew will learn to either let it go or get down in a hurry. Do not expose yourself to those kind of hits.
Yeah, then he drove. Then a couple plays later, he just dove right forward too, right into the teeth of the defensive line. Come on, Andrew.
Out. I'm like, what are you doing, bro? Oh my word! But hey, listen,
he's a football player.
That's right. That's exactly right.
Jeff, we talked about the Colts and what they did against the Dolphins yesterday, but overall now, after the 5-game winning streak, who is this team? Does it have an identity yet? Are you starting to feel like, hey, this is who this team is, and this is what I'm comfortable writing down on my blank sheet of paper in pen?
Yeah, I think you're seeing a team they're finding their identity offensively where they can establish the run. They're not a run-first football team, but they can establish the run. Andrew Luck can be extremely special when he's protected the way that they're protecting him, whether it's by concept, where they have 7 guys blocking, max protection, whatever that looks like, play action, all of those things. You see his game improve, his accuracy improves. So I think you know who you are. You protect your guy, you run it efficiently, kind of play keep away a little bit from the other offense. And I think defensively, I'm pleasantly surprised. I mean, this is a team that even with the new system, their front four does a decent job of getting pressure. The Maniac has had an incredible season. Obviously, I was scared yesterday when he went off the field for a little bit, Darius Leonard. And so as you're looking at what they're building on the back end, I think they're competitive. And so that will be the area that ultimately is going to decide the season. As this team progresses, when you go face the elite offenses, when you get into the playoffs, if you end up making it there, those type of games, that's really where you're going to see if they can kind of hold it. But I think for me, I've been pleasantly surprised. We talked about it before the beginning of the season. If they were 500 or better, you would call this a great success. In my opinion, they're right on track to being where they are. There's a huge game tonight with the Titans and Texans, and it'll say a lot about the AFC South. But they're in the hunt, man, and you got to love where they are, and you got to love what you're seeing Chris Ballard and Frank Reich do to the culture of this football team. They believe they can win every game, and that's not what I've seen in the past few years.
Jeff, I do want to ask you about the Titans and Texans a little bit later, but sticking to Sunday for just a second, no Ryan Kelly in the lineup. We did see a sack, came off the right edge where Braden Smith, the rookie, has been playing at right tackle. So that streak ends at 239 pass attempts for Luck, which is just incredible. Did you notice Kelly not in the lineup for long stretches, or how did that line look without their Pro Bowl caliber center?
Yeah, no, you can definitely tell a little bit. I mean, just the intensity of which they played the interior three. I think, in my opinion, this is Kelly's best year. Obviously, he's been healthy up until now, or healthier, and so he has been better. And man, having Nelson besides you help. I mean, I'm not trying to give other people credit, but when you have a player of his caliber beside you, it's going to help you be better as a player. We're all only as good as the guys beside us. And so even in my own career, it helps when you're having guards who are pulling their own weight. And look, man, Smith, yesterday I saw a couple times where he gets edged. That's good play, and it's going to happen. I mean, you know what I mean? And it's not like it hasn't happened in the past few weeks. It's just been Luck has done a good job of stepping up in the pocket, feeling comfortable that he can step up in the pocket. And then yesterday, it just got him. But, I mean, listen, the offensive line has exerted their will on this football team, and they are dictating to this football team of what the mentality is going to be. And I have so much respect for the way they've gone after this challenge. Listen, this has been a group that has been beat up over the past few years, and for them to kind of answer the call the way they have, I've been impressed. And so, including yesterday, and again, did the streak end? It's going to end at some point. But I was impressed again with the way they battle. Those are good pass rushers on the edge in Miami, and so I had no problem with the way they played the game yesterday.
Jeff, Saturday, it's the morning after. Along with Kevin Bowen, I'm Jeff Rickard. And Jeff, look, the Ravens play a different game when Lamar Jackson is at quarterback, and they've won 2 games in a row with that. I'm sure Joe Flacco will come back and take his place as a starter at some point in time. But as you watch the Ravens, how tough is it going to be to catch them down the stretch?
Yeah, no, listen, I actually like the way the Ravens have played with Jackson.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that so many people talk about, it's going to be a tough system issue, and can he be why make him a pocket passer, right? Like if I got to go defend you, Lamar Jackson makes me a whole lot more afraid if he can run RPOs and he can get outside on the edge with his legs and do those kinds of things. So I think the Ravens have used him very intelligently. I think the way they're getting him, 27 carries the first week. I think it was 11 or 12 yesterday, but the boot for the touchdown. And so, listen, there are a lot of groups in the AFC who can make runs. I'm not sure the Ravens might be their worst enemy. If they end up going back with Flacco or going just one style quarterback, I'm not sure why you wouldn't try to use 2 if you needed. Lamar Jackson has proven he can throw the ball if he has to. So, but it's going to be, listen, 2 quarterbacks sometimes is worse than having no quarterback. I mean, you've heard all the cliches people have always said. The way that Harbaugh's got to manage is going to be interesting to watch.
Jeff, you brought up the Texans and Titans earlier, a big one tonight in the AFC South. Texans at 7-3, winners of 7 straight, and Tennessee at 5-5. If you were the Colts and you're sitting here at 6-5, where would your rooting interest be tonight? Would it be for Tennessee to beat Houston so the division is still in somewhat reach, or would it be, okay, go ahead, Houston, take care of Tennessee, it's one less team you have to worry about in the wild card?
No, heck no, man. I want Tennessee. I want to be in it. I'm not trying to give anybody a chance. I want Tennessee to beat them, and so I got a shot to go win this thing. I'm not trying to play, for second place here. I want a shot to win the whole thing. So whatever that looks like, that's what I've always pulled for. So I think as the Colts look back, I mean, they'll never say it. Obviously, you never would as a player, but they're definitely rooting to win the AFC South. They're not talking about wild card and all that. They're hoping that it all lays out the final week of the season, that you're playing for the whole ball of wax. You know what I mean? Let's make this thing happen and see if we can win it.
Who would you give a game ball to from yesterday for the Colts?
Oh, man, that's a great question. Probably Luck. I mean, look, as bad as or some of the throws that he made, like you said, in the second quarter, him willing back and as sharp as he was, I would say that was a special performance. The second half, to me, and I didn't know the numbers. What did we say? 19 of 21 earlier. I mean, that's ridiculous. But the throws that he made, it wasn't just being 19 of 21. It was some big time throws in big time moments. And I think that, to me, he put the team on his shoulders. And I really respected the way they came back. Being down 10 is never easy in the fourth quarter, but to bring your team back, I got to go with Luck on that one.
Jeff, last one from me, moving away from the Colts in the AFC South. Your thoughts on Baker Mayfield and the whole post-game exchange with Hugh Jackson?
Just young, man. I mean, listen, I heard some of them. He's here with us asking. He got fired, man. He didn't leave. I mean, all of us. This game is short for all of us. Whether you want to believe it or not, you're going to get fired, or somebody's going to not like you, or whatever. And if he got fired, he would want to go to another team who wants him. And Cincinnati wanted Hugh, and Hugh had a good run with Marvin, way back in the day when he was a coordinator there. So I think he's taken a little personal, in my opinion. Now, if he wants to look at games like rivalries, but that's a college mentality. I mean, we're all professional here. He had a job. He didn't get it done in Cleveland, and they moved on from him. Baker's playing good for him. But to take it personally like that, I think is a bit silly. You know, we're all going to bypass each other many more times in this game, whatever team we're on or with what organization we work with. And I don't think Hugh looked at it as he was trying to sabotage the Browns. He loves to coach football. He wants an opportunity to coach football. The Bengals gave him an opportunity. He went for it. Just young, man, and immature probably in how he handled it.
Jeff, Saturday is always good to catch up with you. Monday morning, first thing after a Colts game. We'll do it again next week, and we'll watch for you on TV later on today.
Sounds great. You guys have a great one.